This is a Brocock Concept XR. I reviewed one for Airguns of Arizona about a year and a half ago. And recently, my friend Dan bought one off the Airgun Nation Classified. Bought it used for a pretty good price. And he isn't happy with the trigger and asked if I could maybe do something with it. Now I'm going to get a couple baseline trigger pull measurements here just to get an idea of where it's at. And I've played with the trigger a little bit. It's not very heavy. It's just got a little bit of a catch right at the end. Kind of a, not really a gritty feeling, more like it's almost, rather than just two smooth sears going over themselves, it almost feels like maybe one's got a burr and they're kind of hanging up. So anyway, here's a couple measurements. So about 14 ounces. A little over a pound. A pound and 3 ounces. That time I could really feel that catch that I was talking about. 1 pound and 2.5 ounces. And then I think we'll get one more and that'll be 5. Well, that one really didn't want to go. So 1 pound, 4.3 ounces. I think it'll average them out here. So 1 pound, 1.6 ounces is what that works out to. And really that's not too heavy of a trigger. It's just definitely got a catch there at the end. So it's been about a year since I've been into one of these guns, but I'm going to see if I can remember how to get in here and do a little trigger work. I loosened them up a bit just before I started the camera. One thing about these guns, there's the power detent, or rather the power wheel, which is right here, has a pin that is the kind of clicks, and that's held in place by a spring. And all of that is held into the gun by the bottom of the action. And so this is a gun that when it's taken apart, if you're not over something that's going to catch small parts, you run the risk of losing those. Really cool little guns. The one I reviewed I almost bought. I liked it so much. They're just a really solid looking gun, solid feeling gun rather. Okay, I think that's most of them. And you'll kind of see why they're so strong feeling. This is all one solid piece of aluminum. I mean, it's just, oh, there's the screws. Should be a 4th screw. There's that 4th screw. And there should be, oh cool, it didn't come out. So you can see right in that hole is that spring that I was talking about. That's it's what controls the power wheel. I remember there being a pin in there too. Yeah, I can see it in there. There it is. So there's that little pin. You can kind of see the little tip of it. So now that that's out, the wheel has no feel to it. So back to this. I mean, it's just billet aluminum, and that's the backbone of the gun. So it's just a really solid little gun. I'm curious if the XR pistol that they came out with uses this same main assembly for the gun, but I have not held one of those, so I just don't know. So let's let's see. Seems like, if I remember right, we had to push these pins out. There were 3 pins. The gun is not cocked right now. Looks like somebody has some grease on there. And you know what? You can see here, somebody did some smoothing up on this thing. Alright, I had to track down my punch set. So, you can actually see that I started those 3 pins out. I don't remember the sequence that was correct, so I'm just going to go for it here. I do remember having a heck of a time getting these back in once all was said and done. Try this one first, I guess. Okay. Yeah, you can really tell somebody smoothed that up quite a bit. Cut some of the coil off. You can see that that coil got cut down. I didn't have to do that on the one that I did before. I was able to leave all the springs how they were, and I was able to get it down to, I think, 7 ounces or so. Missing a pin here. Oh, there it is. So, middle pin, front pin, and this is going to be the rear pin here. There's not a lot of tension on them, just a little bit. Rear pin. Make sure nothing goes flying here. So it doesn't look like whoever ground on anything did much there. You can actually see that here, let me see if I can show you. So that little lip there, actually I guess it's rather this one, is what keeps the hammer held back on that little lip right there when the gun's cocked. See? And then we gotta get this out. Yep, and they cut that spring down too. And then I remember that little brass kind of nipple piece in there. There it is. Yeah, this all rings a bell now that I'm in here. It's going to be a little more tricky because they removed they did more than just polish things up. They actually, I don't really understand why they polished where they did, because you're supposed to polish in the contact points, and it looks like that may have been one spring before they cut it back. I don't know. I may have to source some additional springs to get this gun back where it should be. Even that spring got cut back. See how it's only got one finished end? Very interesting. Their method here. And then, wow, look right here. So you can see where it got ground down or sanded down there, but it's not on this side. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know why you would ever sand in that area or even smooth up in that area to get the trigger to have less of a pull. I just don't know. Okay, so until I source some springs, I'm going to leave it right here. I think I'm going to try to get some replacement springs, and that's about all I can do until I do. Man, that's frustrating. Okay, more to come, I guess.